Hi, this is Patrick Walker with Defensive Mechanics, and today I'm here to do my first review. And that review is going to be on the Stormrider Gear Stormrider System, which is a two-belt system, an underbelt and an overbelt. Now, before I get started, I want to give everyone an overview on how I'm going to do these reviews and what my criteria is going to be. So my criteria that I'm going to work with is my primary purpose. Why did I buy that product or go to that class or whatever it is I may be reviewing? 2, secondary and tertiary purposes of that product or the class. I typically like to use my gear for more than one purpose. I want to get my bang for my buck, right? Everybody does. So 3 is going to be the fit and finish of the product. How well is it built? Is it going to fall apart? Do I feel it's going to fall apart? And maybe I'll do some follow-up reviews after I go through multiple iterations using that product. Number 4, the ease of use, ergonomics, and any problems I may have had with that product. 5, the customer interaction with the vendor and or with the company giving that I bought the product from, or whoever was doing the class and the teachers. My overall experience. And then lastly is going to be the cost and value of that product and or class. So I'm going to rate each of those of the 1 through 5. That means a 1 doesn't meet my requirements or has some significant issues. 2 has some good qualities, but a lot more bad qualities. 3 is a mediocre product, has more good qualities than bad qualities. 4 is excellent, but there's just 1 or 2 things holding it back from being a 5. And then 5, it's an outstanding product, wouldn't change anything. So, now that we've got the review criteria all the way, let's step right into the Stormrider review. And I am wearing that today. I'll kind of show you here in a second. We'll go ahead and pan down. All right. So as you can see, this is I did buy it in a Cryptic Highlander. I showed you a sneak peek in my last video. Now on the front I have my pistol pouches. On the side here I have my AR pouches, and then I have some shotgun pouches here. And then on the right hand side here I have my holster. Now the nice thing I was talking about here is a 2-belt system. So in the back here you have a keeper. So I'm going to pull the keeper out of the way here and then essentially pull the whole system off. So essentially then you have a whole second belt that you can take off and set aside when you don't need to use it anymore. As you can see, it's a lot of gear on here. These things can get pretty heavy, so it's really nice to have the secondary, or I should say the inner belt here, where it Velcros on there so it doesn't move around or slide around. Hi guys, we moved into the tabletop portion of the review, and we're going to start off with the primary purpose. Now I gave it a 5 because I wanted to better be able to manage my 3-gun gear, and I wanted something a little different than the standard belts that are sitting out there, the 2-belt systems, the red and the blue or the black. It was kind of just really basic. So as you guys can see, I went with a Highlander, Cryptic Highlander. I want something just a little bit different. I want to be unique. So that obviously accomplished that, but I also wanted it to be able to accommodate multiple different types of pouches that I had already out there. So for instance, I love the tacos. I use them not only for competition, but I also use them for the rest of my kit and my plate carrier and all that other thing. So I really want something that accomplishes all the types of gear. So to do that, this can do tech lock. It can do some standard competition, California Competition Works, the spring kind of metal clip, as well as MOLLE. And you can see this kind of winging around here. I basically wanted to show you how essentially the MOLLE just goes through the outside loops, and then you just slide them right in. And then if you want to move it, you just move it over to another set of MOLLE. So I'm going to set that off to the side right now. So this belt was, with being a standard 2-inch belt, there's a ton of different options you have with it, and especially with the MOLLE. And so that it accomplished a 5 easily. Now my other previous was a war belt. It was just a little bit too big. I had problems with some pipes and culverts in some of the 3-gun competitions I went to. It was too hot. There was no Velcro. It didn't keep it in place. For the inner Velcro I showed you earlier that works with the inner belt, and it just didn't fit 3-gun gear. There's no way you're gonna get a tech lock on a war belt. So, or for that matter, a spring kind of metal clip. So that's one of the main reasons that is the main reason I bought it. Now, number 2, my secondary and tertiary purposes. As I said earlier, I have a lot of MOLLE gear. So I wanted to be able to use my MOLLE gear so I can throw it together for a class and throw some pistol on there if I'm gonna do a pistol class, throw rifle and pistol pouches on there if I'm gonna do a rifle class. And then if I'm gonna do shotgun, be able to throw some shotgun pouches on there. So it totally fit my secondary and tertiary purpose for my classes, as well as my kind of SHTF putting under my kit. So anyways, so I definitely gave that a 5. It was going to fit any one of the classes I go to, giving me the ease of use and the possibilities of the type of gear and stuff I can put on there. So thirdly was the fit and finish. And as you can see here, this is a very, very rugged belt. It is super thick. You've got 2 layers of webbing underneath there, and then on top of the covering of the Cryptic Highlander covering, and then the MOLLE loops. So very, very thick. It's sturdy. It's not going to fall down. Yeah, as many of you know, you need a really, really good gun belt. This holds all my gear. I can get pounds and pounds of gear on this thing, and it holds it really, really well. So fit and finish, amazing. And then the fact that it has a built-in keeper, that was really nice. Not all of those 2-belt systems out there have a keeper built in. You usually have just a loop that you're throwing on, and sometimes I've seen people go, "Where's my keeper?" I can't find it. So the fact that it's built in saves a lot of time. And then the fact too, they added a little bit of kind of an extra on there so you can throw a little morale patch on the front there. So that was always kind of a nice thing too. So fit and finish, clean line stitching is amazing on this thing. And there's not a frayed stitch on it. So I definitely give it a 5 in the fit and finish. Now, how the ease of use, ergonomics, and any problems I had. I didn't have any problems with it, except for the fact, like I said, this spring clip under here, it works, but it's almost like it's gonna fall off. It's really, really close. So that's why I ended up kind of converting these things to a MOLLE system. So it worked out just as well doing that way. So now I still gave it a 5 on there because they don't market it as a 3-gun. They market it as just a 2-belt system, kind of like a battle belt system, but a very modular battle belt system. So I definitely gave it a 5. Ergonomics is awesome because it keeps everything really, really snug in my body. It's not flopping around when I'm running up and down the range. So now, customer interaction. I messaged the owner on July 4th, on Facebook, and asked about Cryptic Highlander. And they didn't have it because they didn't have it on their website as an option. She responded back within half an hour and said, well, they don't have the option yet, but they just ordered it. And I can go ahead and order it online. Just mark up the woodland camo, or choose the woodland camo option, and then write in their Cryptic Highlander. And within 3 weeks, I had my custom belt made to me in the Cryptic Highlander color that I wanted. So outstanding customer interaction. We messaged back and forth quite a few times that day with talking about different options, and she was very on the spot. And when I asked them about the shipping time, like 2.5 weeks later, they'd already shipped it. So, and they responded back very, very quickly too. So cost and value. I think the underbelt may be a little bit on the pricey side. The camo version, any one of the camouflaged versions, non-plain versions, is $49.75. So that's a little bit more expensive than the standard, probably $15 to $25 underbelt that you're going to buy out there. But the fact that it's a lot thinner than a lot of the underbelts I have out there, I really, really like that. So, but I don't know if it's necessarily the price of it. It's a little bit pricey on the underbelt. The overbelt, the camo version was $94.75. Now these prices are as of January 2016, so they could change obviously at a later date. The camo, back to what I was saying, this outer belt here was $94.75, and That's, that's a little bit on the pricey side, but there's two parts of this criteria: cost and value. For the fact that I'm getting a custom-made product made in the U.S., made by somebody that actually listens to me and I can talk to, amazing. I mean, the value's there. So I knocked off a 0.5, so I gave it a 4.5 on the cost/value. So now the favorite feature of this whole product itself is the fact that I can use almost any kind of pouch out there. And if I can't, I can modify the pouch like I did to make it MOLLE, and you can find about almost anything in MOLLE these days. So that's my favorite product. My least favorite product is just a little bit thick for this spring clip here. I don't know if you need both layers of webbing in here. Maybe one would do. So I don't know, just something to think about. They probably tried it with one. Maybe it wasn't stiff enough. I don't know. So not enough for me to take any. Like I said, I took a ding 0.5 off for the price, but not necessarily for this because they don't market it for this. So overall rating of this product, I gave it a 4.9. Now, I think it's an amazing product. I would recommend it to anybody out there looking for a 2-belt system, especially if you do a lot of classes that can carry your gear. If you're going to do competition, I think it's a great product, especially if you want to set yourself aside. It'll be a little unique out there. So, all right, everybody, this has been Patrick Walker with Defensive Mechanics. Thanks for joining me. And remember, mindset, marksmanship, and mechanics. Only by paying attention to all three attributes can you become a superior warrior.